Hello, my loves. It has been a while, but we're back. We're here making another video of free sewing patterns for summer 2025, and it's going to be a really good one, guys. There's 34 different patterns here of all categories of clothing, both for women, and there's also some bits for children and babies as well, which is very exciting. I'm also testing out a new mic, so do let me know if you think the audio is better or worse than the previous videos. I'm hoping it creates a little bit of a softer sound to listen to. So yes, anyway, without further ado, let's get on into the 34 free sewing patterns for summer 2025. To be doing something slightly different this time. I'm not going to be linking particular fabrics down below, but I will sort of mention what kind of fabrics I think might work for each sewing pattern. But let me know if you did like the fabric recommendations, because I did like looking for them for you, but do let me know. I wasn't really sure if it was helpful for anyone, but let me know anyway, either way, and I could always do it for the next video. If you're new, I do seasonal free sewing pattern videos, so do subscribe and hit the bell so that you can see my future videos. Anyway, tangent aside, so just for the format of the video, I have separated all the different sewing patterns according to categories such as dresses, skirts, tops, etc. I have put the timestamps for these categories and the individual items themselves down below, along with any links. Please be aware that if the description box looks a bit funny like some of my previous videos, it's because there is a highly restricted character count, and so when there's so many links, it's very difficult to fit it all down there. So I'll do my best to make it as clear and concise as possible, but yeah, I want to get all the information for you guys down there, so yeah, just please bear that in mind. And yes, let's start with the category of dresses. Now, summer is not summer without a glorious dress, and there's a really lovely selection of dresses that I found for you guys. And I'm going to start off with this one, which is from Mood Fabrics. Now, I just think this is the most fabulous dress ever. It has a very regal / Victorian style to it, but it's still very modern, very chic, very flattering. As you can see, you've got a lovely bustier detail, which if you haven't tried doing a bustier sewing pattern before, this is a really great one to start with. The bodice is super structured and tailored, and it goes down into a V style waistline, which I think is just such a lovely detail. It's particularly good if you're someone with quite a short torso and quite long legs, and obviously if you don't have those proportions, then you can alter the bodice length in order to get the desired effect. You could also change the angle of the V shape in order to make it better for your body shape if you wish. But I've seen so many similar dresses like this on the high street, minus the bustier detail. And I think it's just a great simple dress that you can wear throughout summer and on your holidays, and it just looks so elegant, so chic, and it's got this lovely gathered skirt detail, so it does give it a little bit more shape and a little bit more interest. It's also a really gorgeous dress that you could use a completely plain fabric with, or you could do it with something really patterned and really fun, and it would work really well either way. Fabric wise, I probably would go for the bottom half. If you can find a matching colour of two, I'd probably go with the bottom half as almost like a taffeta material, just because it has a little bit more of a lightweight fluffy feel, and then maybe either a viscose or a cotton bodice. If you didn't want to do the bustier design, you could also do the top in almost a jersey style fabric, so it's nice and fitted and a little bit more casual. So yeah, there's so many options with this dress, and I think it's just such a gorgeous sewing pattern for it to be free and really accessible to everyone. So yeah, definitely one that I'm going to be aiming for this year. Now, dress number 2 is also from Mood Fabrics, and it's a really lovely bodycon, long sleeved, square necklined dress. The square neckline I think is just so incredibly flattering. It shows off all the nice parts of the décolletage area, but maintaining your modesty. It's very elegant because it's very fitted, but it's not too form-fitting, so if you want to wear it to lunch and you want to leave a little bit of space there, then this dress is perfect. To be honest, if a dress doesn't have space for food, I mean, that's what life's all about. in my opinion. I would probably choose a jersey for this. I do think it's a really lovely sewing pattern. If you've not done too much jersey so far, there's not too many intricate details, and actually it's a really lovely wearable dress. So yeah, a great one if you're kind of a beginner with the jersey style fabric. Another lovely dress for Mood Fabrics is this lovely shirt dress. Now it's an absolutely stunning and timeless design. It has a beautiful collar detail with buttons going all the way down, and it's sort of a I want to say a midi / maxi length with an A style designed bottom. It cinches in at the waist with a lovely little belt. It has two very beautiful pockets on the breast area, and it's a really perfect length sleeve at sort of 3/4 length, hitting sort of just below the elbow, which I think hits at such a flattering area on the arm. It's also perfect for sort of summer weather. They have used almost like a satin for this, which I don't think I would do, just because satin's not the easiest to work with, and I feel like it's quite an intricate design. And so if you do it with a satin, then it probably is a little bit more an advanced project. I probably would do it in a viscose or a cotton. You could even do it with a chiffon and then do a lining underneath. But yeah, I really love this dress. I think it's so elegant and very put together and chic. So yeah, 10 out of 10. This next dress is called the Tundra dress, and it's an absolutely beautiful shirt dress. Compared to the previous dress that we talked about, this one is a lot more relaxed, free-flowing, sort of free spirit design. I think the fabric choice that they've used with the gauze fabric is brilliant. It feels very light, airy, perfect for summer. Even if you're going on holiday somewhere really warm, it's the perfect sort of cover up to stop your skin getting exposed, and just still looking really chic and really elegant. It has really beautiful raglan style sleeves, which kind of balloons out at the bottom, and has a lovely little cuff at the wrist to kind of really emphasize that shape. It has buttons going all the way down with a little belt to cinch in at the waist, and a lovely long slit up the side of the leg. I also really love the collar design. It's not quite the full, I don't know what you call them, but the full collar. It's kind of that really thin band, which I think for summer and for really hot weather, it's really good. So yeah, I really love this. And again, I would do it with the gauze fabric as they have done in the example. I think it looks really lovely, really light, really flowy. And to be honest, sometimes I struggle to think what I will make out of my gauze fabric, and I think this is just such a great example. This next dress is a little bit more of a formal design, thinking sort of bridesmaid, cocktail dress, that sort of vibe, but it's absolutely stunning. This one is from Tiana's Closet, and it's called the Juniper dress, and it's got a lovely tailored sort of panelled detailing with a little peplum bottom to really accentuate the bottom area and just the general bodily shape. But it's still very modest in the sense that it's got a higher neckline, and yeah, again, because it's sleeveless, you're not going to get hot and bothered if you're having, say, a very hot wedding in, I don't know, Italy, for example. So yeah, I think it's a really practical dress as well. I think in terms of fabric, there's so much that you could choose to do with this, again depending on where you want to wear it. You could use a thicker jacquard style woven fabric if you want that kind of effect, or you could use more of a cotton, but you would want to use something that holds its shape a little bit because you want the peplum to really stand out. You could also do this in a scuba fabric if you wanted to be sort of different, but yeah, I think this is really lovely whether you do it in a plain fabric or in a pattern. And it also has a very nice back detail. Never underestimate the showing of the back. It's just such an elegant design without losing any modesty. So yeah, I think it's just such a great dress. Another lovely dress from Tiana's Closet is the Lorenzo dress, and again, really lovely sort of occasion wear dress, but you could also wear it for something a little bit more casual. It's this lovely fitted kind of bodycon style sleeveless dress. It has a lovely high neckline, again very elegant, very modest, and it has a really lovely slit down the side of the leg. It has a little bow at the top of that slit, which I think is a really lovely addition. But if you want to sort of make it a little bit more casual, then obviously you could do it without the bow. Again, a really lovely sewing pattern to do if you're quite new to sewing with jersey style fabric. But yeah, very impactful dress. So yeah, really great. Love this one. Now, a little bit more of a casual dress, which actually can be made as a top as well, is this lovely sewing pattern from Helen's Closet, and it's called the Orchard Top and Dress sewing pattern. Now, it's a really simple dress cut on a bias, which gives that sort of A-line shape, which I think is really flattering and just really comfortable. There is the option as well to put pockets in, which a dress with pockets is great. Because it is that A-line shape, it's actually perfect to have pockets in because it's not going to show through or be bulgy in any areas. So I think it's a really good option. I personally would do this in a cotton, but you could do it in many different fabrics. Even a chiffon would be really nice. Again, if you're quite new to using chiffon, then this would also be a really great project to try with. And also if you're new to bias binding, again, this is a really nice sewing pattern to give a go. But again, you could make these sewing patterns with very simple plain fabrics like black and white, which are absolute staples in everyone's wardrobe, and you could wear it with a blazer, you could wear it on its own, but it's just such a staple in your spring summer wardrobe. Another very practical dress is this one from Margaux, which is dress number 1149, and it's a really lovely simple vest style dress, not figure hugging at all, very free flowing, maxi length. Of course, you could do this as a midi length as well. Could also make a really good vest top as a staple with this as well. So yeah, a really good all-round sewing pattern, and yeah, again, just a really nice one to throw on every day for summer. Now, this next dress is actually a designer dress from Pattern Vault, which is actually on display in the V&A, and it's called the Georgie dress, and it's a really lovely wrap styled dress, and it has quite a poofy styled skirt, which is just above the knee in length. You have to kind of look past the example here because it does look quite dated, but I really think it's a figure flattering dress. The way it has the wrap styled neckline, the little tie waist, the way the skirt kind of poofs out a little bit, and the little ruffle at the bottom. Again, you could make this from a sort of plain fabric, or if you want it to be really quite feminine, then doing this dress in a floral print would be absolutely gorgeous as well. So yeah, so many options with this one. I probably would say if you want it to be a little bit more flowy, a viscose would work really well with this. You would have to be a little bit more careful with not distorting the fabric for when you do the wrap style dress. So I would say that it might be a little bit more of an intermediate / advanced sewing pattern if you're going to use a viscose, but if you're more of a beginner, definitely try with a cotton to begin with, or even sort of a linen style fabric would look really nice with this dress. Now, moving on to tops. Now, this first top that I'm going to be including this is from Maison Feuvre, which is the Pompon waistcoat. Now, waistcoats are really in right now, and this one is just absolutely perfection. It has this really lovely high V-neck design, so again, very modest, and it has a little cinching buckle thing at the waist at the back in order for you to create that little bit more of an hourglass shape with it. It has these little faux pockets as well, which I think looks great. Now, I would personally choose to do this in white or cream, just because I feel like that's quite flattering for summer, or for me in particular. But the only other thing that I would do differently with this sewing pattern is I'd probably make the neckline a little bit lower. Again, just personal preference there, but I do think this is an absolute fabulous design. You could do this with a crepe fabric. Obviously, you would probably need to interface it just to give it a little bit more structure, or you could do it with a tweed or a twill fabric would be great as well. So yeah, there's just so many options of fabric choice with this, especially if you want to make it a little bit more of like an outerwear sort of style as well for those chillier months. But yeah, again, really fabulous. Paired with a pair of tailored trousers, this would just be a really amazing outfit. And actually, really surprising that it's free. I just think it's great. This next top is perfect for beginners. It's from Atelier Scammit and it's a bandeau top. Really quite simple, but again, if you're quite new to jersey fabrics and you've just not sewn with it at all, this is a really good template to sort of start off and build your confidence with. I do think a bandeau top is very versatile for the summer, paired under a blazer. I think it's just really, really flattering. And yeah, you just can't go wrong with the bandeau top. Now, the next top is not quite a top, it's actually a cardigan, and it's the Lisa cardigan from Seamwork. Now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a throw-over cardigan, like when you're chilly. It's more of kind of a top style cardigan. So it's very chic. It's got a lovely V neckline, very flattering indeed. Lovely long sleeves, billows out slightly, and then it's kind of nipped in a little bit with the cuff. Really lovely big buttons and a sort of dropped shoulder, which gives it that, I wouldn't say slouchy, but kind of more relaxed look. I can't quite tell what fabric they've used for this, but I think it looks a bit more like a ribbed or ridged sweatshirt style fabric, but you could make this in so many different fabrics, such as knit fabrics, woven fabrics. Yeah, just so many options with this one. So yeah, really love this one as well. Another top from Seamwork is the Sorbetto top, which is a really lovely, simple top, which can be made one of two ways actually, either completely sleeveless or as a sort of t-shirt style. It has a lovely pleated paneling, which is quite a unique detail, but overall it's a very flattering, almost tailored styled top. Now, again, you could make this with so many different fabrics, but I think my choice would be between either a cotton or a linen style fabric, just because of the way it drops. They have used chiffon in one of the examples, but you can kind of see the hem a bit too much, so I probably wouldn't use anything sheer for it. But yeah, really lovely. It has a little slit down the side, it has a shorter front to the back, and yeah, I think I would probably wear this personally with tucked in some sort of tailored trousers. But yeah, really lovely top, again really versatile. I would say it's actually a really nice work top for spring summer as well, so a great wardrobe staple. They also have the Madhu top, which again is such a cute little top. It's a cropped styled top with short sleeves, kind of puffy with elasticated bottoms, both along the waist and on the arm, and again along the neckline. I think this would work really well with a very lightweight fabric that holds a lot of structure, something like a taffeta or a cotton. A linen could work as well. You could also use a chiffon. Yeah, I think there's just so many options with this. I think personally I would make this using gingham because I just love gingham in general, but yeah, I think it could work with so many different fabrics, and such a cute top paired with some high-waisted trousers if you're not wanting to show off too much flesh. I think this is a really lovely top to go on holiday. Now, this next top is super stylish. This is one from Lydia Naomi, and it's called the Angie top, and it's a lovely asymmetrical one-shouldered design. It has this lovely cutout detail, which cutout details are very in right now and very stylish, very cool, maybe too cool for me, not sure, but I think it's a really lovely top. And if you do it in a plain fabric, it would go with so many different things in your wardrobe. Wearing it even with a simple pair of jeans or leggings, I think it would just look really lovely. I probably would choose a little bit more of a slippery, shiny jersey fabric, which could be harder to sew with, but I do kind of think it's worth it for this top because it kind of fits that style. But you could definitely do it with a general jersey fabric if you weren't too keen on dealing with a very slippery, shiny one. Now, moving on to bottoms. Now we have a skirt from Maison Fèvre, which is a lovely fitted mini skirt, and what I love about this sewing pattern is this just such a unique design. You have this lovely S-shaped paneling at the front, which I think really adds to the design, and you could really experiment with color blocking with this design as well. So you could be really creative and really fun with this style of skirt. It's got a lovely couple of darts around the waist area to give it a little bit more shape, and a lovely simple invisible zip at the back, which I just think is so elegant. I must say, I don't think I would wear a mini skirt this short nowadays, so I probably would make it shorter for myself. But I think in terms of fabric, making this with either a tweed or a twill or a jacquard fabric or a boucle would look really lovely. So yeah, there's so many different options with this skirt, and it's definitely one of those patterns that you could easily make lots of versions with and have a lot of fun with them. So yeah, I really love this one. Really great sewing pattern. Now, another really lovely skirt is the Lindy petal skirt from Itch to Stitch, and it's almost like a tulip styled wrap skirt. But yeah, again, really flattering. You could really make this for work as well, to be honest, depending obviously what fabrics that you do choose. I think a really simple jersey fabric would work really well for this. And again, a really lovely sewing pattern if you're kind of starting out with jerseys. But again, because it's quite a simple design, you could have a lot of fun with different colours and patterns. So yeah, another really good skirt to have in your wardrobe. Now, we have a few lovely bits of loungewear items are coming up. So the first one is the Palermo pajamas by Mood Fabrics, and it's this very classical two-piece collared pajama set with this lovely piping detail along the button line and also along the cuffs. This is a style of pajama that I just think is just so elegant, so timeless, yet so comfortable, and yeah, just a really great sewing pattern to have. And again, can be made in so many different fabrics and colours. I mean, in terms of fabrics, if it was more for winter, I'd probably choose like a brushed cotton. That's just so cozy to me. For summer, I would probably use sort of a really thin jersey fabric just so it's nice and flowy. But again, you could make this in a lovely breathable cotton as well. So yeah, I really love these pajamas. It has a lovely little breast pocket, and yeah, just super flattering. I'm for sure going to be making these pajamas. Now, next up for loungewear, we have these lovely joggers called the Taormina joggers from Mood Fabrics. Now, I think the shape of these are absolutely fabulous, and as you can see from the model in this cutaway, you can see she's even worn them with heels, but again, you could wear them with trainers, and they're just such a nice versatile pair of joggers to have. They have a really great elasticated waist, but it has a lovely pleats around the waist in order to ensure a really lovely fit. It has a lovely stripe down the leg, which I think is just so elongating and so flattering. And there's a lovely little cuff at the bottom just to kind of cinch it all in and give it that sort of more put together vibe. So yeah, I really love these. I would make this with a sweatshirt knit fabric, which is the obvious choice. But yeah, really love the design of these joggers. Now, with the joggers that we just talked about, I probably would make the top part of this next sewing pattern from Mood Fabrics, which is the Lydia loungewear set. I must say, I'm not too keen on the trousers, and I probably would choose to make the jogging bottoms from the previous sewing pattern that I showed you, but a really lovely top with a dropped shoulder, a lovely curved hemline, a high neck, and again, something you could use both a sweatshirting fabric for if you wanted to make it a matching set, but you could also make it using a much finer knit fabric, just because I feel like the drape on this would also look really lovely, especially with a dropped shoulder. So kind of a 2-in-1 there, kind of a matching sweatshirting top, but could also be a general long sleeve top as well. I think for spring summer, making this with a really sheer knit fabric would be so sensual, just so you're peeking through a little bit of your brasier but still looking very elegant. I think this is a really lovely loungewear piece. Now, we have a couple of accessories to add to our summer wardrobe, and I'm going to start with this lovely bucket hat, because what is summer without a bucket hat? And it's this lovely one from Maison Frèvre, which is called the Bob Frèvre hat, and yeah, it's just really lovely. You could probably make this reversible if you wanted to use 2 different tones of fabric, but I do think it's super flattering, super chic, super cool, and yeah, just so versatile with everything in your wardrobe, especially if you choose quite a neutral colour. Now we also have a handbag, and just to point out that this sewing pattern is actually only available for May, so you do need to get your hands on it very quickly. They usually get a new sewing pattern every month, so I will link it down below, and if you click on it you might get something different. But the bag for May is this lovely Monstera bag. And as a gardener, this is my dream bag. It's this oval shaped handbag with a lovely zip and long straps, and the way they've made it is with a really lovely stiff fabric which gives it a lovely structure and a lovely shape. And they've almost got this applique styled monstera leaf on the front. Now I mean, I'm not going to be able to describe this very well, so I'm going to put a picture on the screen obviously, but yeah, absolutely glorious, lovely bag, and perfect for summer 2025. Now we have a couple of pieces for children and babies, so if you have anyone in the family that have children and you want to make them something lovely, I always think it's a really nice gesture to make something. Now this first one is from Vicky Sews, and it's the Riley pants, and it is part of a two-piece set, so you can make the top as well, but it's a very simple two-piece jersey styled sort of pajama set. And what I love about these sets is that you can really go all out with the fabric choice and really choose something that you know this child will love. So yeah, really lovely cuff details on both the sleeve and the ankles, elasticated waistband of course, and what I love is that you can make this as they grow up, different sizes, and it can be made from ages 3 years old to 14 years old, so yeah, plenty of scope there of making them for them every year. I've also linked the matching top for this, which is called the Mickey top, again from Vicky Sews, so it's a matching set, and yeah, just a really lovely free sewing pattern. Now we also have a lovely little girl's dress which is from So Much Ado, and it's a lovely frilled dress. It's so sweet. It has a lovely almost 3/4 length sleeve with a ruffle detail at the end, and again, just making this in any sort of girly fabric would look so cute, and quite an easy make because you can easily make this with a simple cotton, and it's really nice, flowy, airy, and perfect for the summer months. Also from So Much Ado, she's included this really lovely children's robe, which I think is just so special. I mean, every child needs a robe to cozy up in, even if it's summer. You could choose to do it in more of a jersey fabric if you want it to be less hot, but you could do it in a toweling material, or you can do it in sort of the fluffy teddy fabric as well. But yeah, really lovely, especially if you find a fabric that a child really likes, then this is such a nice idea. Another lovely little girl's dress from So Much Ado is this lovely little jersey style dress. Super simple, but to be honest, very practical. It seems very airy, and because it's made from a jersey fabric, which you probably could still make it from a cotton, but the jersey fabric obviously will have more give as they're growing up, but it's also very comfortable, still quite insulating, and has a lovely sort of short sleeve with a nice little waistband. So yeah, really lovely dress. Again, a great dress to use a really fun fabric with, and yeah, every girl would love this dress, me included. She's also made this really lovely peplum top, which I think is just so adorable, and I honestly would wear it myself. Now this is more for kind of a baby-ish age. It says 12 to 18 months, but you could definitely grade it into a bigger size, and again, really lovely as jersey fabric. Again, something they would just really grow into throughout the years, but yeah, really lovely. Again, plain, they've done it in a lovely pink here. I would do it exactly the same, or in a more floral fabric would be really nice as well. Now Brindle and Twig have this really lovely unisex t-shirt styled sweatshirt top thing, which obviously you can make different length sleeves, but it's for such a wide age from babies all the way to 6 years old, and I think it's a really lovely design. It has a lovely ribbed neckline and cuffs, and again, there's just such a wide range of fabrics that you can make with this in terms of thickness, but also in terms of pattern, and yeah, I think it's just a great pattern to suit so many different ages, and it's just such a staple in their wardrobe. Now the next children's sewing pattern, again unisex, are the Walk the Plank pajama bottoms from Patterns for Pirates. Love the name. And this is a really versatile sewing pattern which is catered for babies all the way up until 14 years old, and because the length is quite easy to mend, you could make shorts, 3/4 length shorts, trousers. So again, a really versatile sewing pattern to have in your capsule collection, but also really fun if you want to just make something really fun for a child or a baby. If you don't want to risk getting the size wrong and making clothes for a child, then you could always make them this little cute teddy bear. Now, I'm sorry, but this teddy bear is just beyond adorable. I think it has such a character, and I think you could have so much fun with choosing the fabric for this and even make it into a patchwork bear. I have never sewn a cuddly toy before, but after seeing this, I would be quite happy to make myself one, to be perfectly honest. It's just really quite special, and even just a nice little design for your home. You could make this as a doorstop even if you wanted to put some weights inside, and yeah, use it to kind of pop doors open. That's also a really good option. But yeah, a really cute cuddly toy. Now, specifically for babies, So Much Ado has also got some lovely footed trousers, which seems genius to me, because why have socks and trousers when you can just have an all-in-one suit? And again, you can just make them using really colourful fabrics. Probably jersey would be the best material for this, because you probably want it quite stretchy, but it has got an elasticated waist, and yeah, it seems quite simple. So if you're a beginner and you're wanting to gift someone something special, then this is a great idea. She's also created a lovely ruffled diaper, which I think is just geniusly cute. Yeah, it seems really adorable with the little ruffles at the back. You could make this with so many different fabrics and textures. I'd probably say for a baby you might want to think about cotton, or like an organic cotton, something really soft and delicate. I just think it's just such a lovely idea, something I would not have thought of myself. So there you have it. I mean, what an amazing collection of free sewing patterns that people are so kind and generous to share with everyone. Now, I'm going to share my favourites and the ones that I'm definitely going to be making, because although I want to make all of them, I just physically don't have the time. But I love the Palermo pyjamas. I think they are a classic staple. I love the Tundra dress, very chic, very relaxed, and I was looking for a sewing pattern that could inspire me to make something with gauze fabric. And I think my other favourite would have to be the Maison Frèvre waistcoat, and the teddy bear. The teddy bear's cute. So yeah, these are probably my favourites. Let me know what your favourites are as well. Let me know if you would like me to continue doing the fabric recommendations. It does take quite a bit longer to scout around to find these lovely pieces for you, but if you like them, then let me know and I will continue doing them. But anyway, for now, my loves, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Oh, also, if you want to see some other free sewing pattern videos, there is a whole playlist and I will link it somewhere up here. So anyway, I will see you. Bye my loves.